Welcome to Channel 18's Community Channel once again, and we're very happy to have as our guest today Margaret Song, the program manager of the Cape Light Residential Group, and Barry Worth, the representative to the Cape Light Compact from Harwich, and also a member of the Board of Directors. Margaret, I think we're going to start with you. We know that you have put together a lot of plans for the future, and we're hoping that our residents are going to hear a lot of good news. So why don't you give us a little opening?
Sure. We, for the state, have to file 3-year plans. And so for 2013 to 2015, we've been actually working on it for almost a year. But we have some exciting things that we're hoping to continue, as well as bring new things to folks. A lot of LEDs. People love LED lighting, mainly because it comes on immediately and it's bright. So we're going to be looking to invest a little bit more in that. How does
that affect these new light bulbs that we all have? They're supposed to do a marvelous job.
Yes, so those light bulbs, I mean, I think that lighting is always a choice, but the reality is that there are some, complaints out there that I think are legitimate in that they take a little bit of time to warm up, and there is the question about mercury, even though you can recycle them here in the transfer station. But with LEDs, you don't have the mercury, and most of the time they're an instant on, which makes it a little bit easier for when you're going to be coming in and out of a room.
So we all need new light bulbs.
Yes, but we're going to help you get there.
Again.
Slowly. Again, yeah. I mean, Barry was part of a test group that we had for what's called the L Prize. It was a Department of Energy competition, and I don't know, Barry, what did you think about those?
Thought it was a great light. We got, each one of us who were in part of the test got a light bulb which looked different than a standard light bulb, but it was not. It was about the same size. We used ours over our over our kitchen sink for about 6 months before they took it back again. But the light was great. It came instant on, as Margaret says, and it's very, very bright, and it was. Obviously, it was a savings because it was much less than the 75 or 100 watt light bulb, incandescent bulb that we had there for a start. But it worked out very well, and they took them back, and the company that made them, they got $1 million from the Department of Energy.
$10 million, actually.
$10 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we had to take them back. Barry makes it sound as if we were Grinches, but
I was trying to hide it in my back pocket.
But we had to take them back because the company really wanted to dissect them to figure out, what worked well and what didn't work well, so that they could launch them commercially.
They're not yet commercially available, I take it.
They are commercially available now, yes.
A little more they're pretty expensive, but they're certainly available, right?
Yeah, they're much more pricey. They're in the $50 to $60 range, but we're working to bring down those costs so that they're in a much more reasonable range, and we're also looking, in 2013 and beyond, to maybe incorporate them into our home energy audit as well.
Oh boy, that'd be great.
Yes.
We'll sign up again for that.
Yes.
That's another point. You don't have to just sit back and rest on one. You can update your audit. Is that true?
That's absolutely correct. You can have an audit once a year, and Barry's worked on the board for quite a few years, and we have enhanced that program over and over. One of the great things that people love recently is the heat loan. If you're looking to upgrade single pane windows, you're looking to upgrade your heating system to something more efficient, we have 0% loans up to $25,000 for 7 years, which really helps to minimize those out-of-pocket costs.
Sure does. And because having put in a new furnace in the past year, it takes a little bit of money.
It does.
Not in that range, fortunately, but a few bucks.
Yes. Well, and if you're ever thinking about installing any central AC, you can also put that through the loan as well.
Well, that would be a major thing. Yes. I have hot water.
Oh, that would be a very
That's a little
major
harder,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
That would be very major. So we grew up liking hot water heat. What else is coming along? And for our residents. Yeah.
So for our residents, the other great thing that's that we recently launched was if you have an electric water heater, a standalone water heater, you can now replace that with something called a heat pump water heater. It uses basically the ambient air and, creates a much more efficient water heating system for you if you're looking to stay with electric.
It sounds like a very wise investment.
Yes, and we, with the rebate that's out there right now, you can pretty much pay for the unit. You just have to pay for the installation at this point.
Boy, that's really great.
Yes.
keep going. Keeps getting better.
Yes. Well, and the other thing is that with that, you can also qualify for the loan for that as well if you don't want the out-of-pocket cost for the installation. So, it's a nice option because electric standalone water heaters are really expensive.
The key is that there are a tremendous number of programs, and what we want to do is urge everybody who's watching this, or anybody who knows about it, take advantage of them. No matter what it is that you want to do on the area of energy conservation or changes, if you don't know whether it works, call the Cape Light Compact, and they'll tell you whether it will or it won't.
This is the time you tell them your phone number. You blast it out there.
Okay, our phone number is 1-800-797-6699. You can also visit our website, which is capelightcompact.org.
Okay, well, that's an easy one.
Yes.
And today, everybody's got some kind of a computer. And we were talking earlier, actually, if you got your phone with you, you can find out, right?
It's true. It has
You
the
can find
power of
anything.
the internet.
A lot of things you don't even want to know. Right?
So, do we have more?
Oh, well, if anybody wants to read the document, it is, I think over 400 pages. And
Well, I think we'll pass on that.
Yeah, we have it on our website, though. There's a lot of things that are exciting there for both residences, businesses, municipalities. And we have all of that available as well as just a PowerPoint if folks just want the highlights at capelightcompact.org, but /EEP. And EEP stands for Energy Efficiency Plan.
Oh, okay.
And that's a nice way. And again, like Barry said, you can always call us to ask us if we have something. It's always good to check with us if you're going to be upgrading something in your home.
Now, people can still get, in the winter, an energy audit?
You can actually get one at any time.
At any time.
Yes. The advantage, though, in the winter is that we have an infrared camera that we can use when there's enough of a temperature differential between outside and inside. This weekend would probably not have been a good one because it was warm. I think everyone enjoyed that. But, it's nice to be able to visually see. I'm a believer when I see something, and to be able to look at your walls and be able to see whether you have that insulation or not and where the air is coming in is always helpful. But, even during the summer when you see those spider webs, you can tell where the air is coming in and the air is coming out because they're looking to catch those bugs there.
I thought you were going to say you can tell how well you clean your house.
That too.
But, now, energy audits themselves, is there anything new? If you've had one in the past, is there something new that somebody might enjoy or benefit from?
Well, there's always something new, but with the energy audit, the great thing is, and it's always a myth that you have to pay for it. Some people ask us. It's a no-cost assessment. And one of the other things that people always ask us is if it's income qualified, and it's not. If you're income qualified, you might get enhanced benefits, but you can be the richest person in Cape Cod or Martha's Vineyard and still have an audit.
And you should.
And you should. Right. It's really enlightening. The other thing that people always tell us is, my house is already efficient. It was built efficiently. And then you find out, well, it was built, maybe 30 years ago. After a while, homes settle. That you want to be able to seal up those air leaks so that you're not heating the world for the squirrels and the rabbits. And what you really want to be able to do is take advantage of the incentives. We are looking to introduce some new incentives, but even today, if you are a renter, you can qualify for 100% up to $4,000.
That's a big thing because more and more people, I think, are renting these days.
They are. And the other thing that I didn't mention is that for everyone, our incentives, if you go through the Keep Light Compact, go up to $4,000. Previously, our incentives went up to $2,000.
Okay.
And that was just to make sure, from the board's decision, actually, you guys
Right.
chose to have us go into someone's home and be able to make all those changes at once rather than doing them piecemeal over the years.
One thing that intrigued me of what you said is, it seemed something new to me, your window panes. Now, if you had a house that's 20 years old, are your window panes inefficient based on today's standard?
Probably. The window standards have gone up since, the last 20 years. The thing, though, is that windows, they're beautiful, you want to be able to use them, but they are going to be naturally more inefficient than your walls. Just think about how thin they are compared to the walls that you have. So you're going to have some heat loss through there. It's just making sure that you can mitigate that. So, some people put the plastic over the windows. It does make it feel much more comfortable during the winter to do that. But also insulated curtains. That's what I do in my house, which is it just stops the draft so you can sit on the sofa next to the windows and still be able to watch that movie without putting on the extra sweater.
Right.
Well, every time you say something, we learn a little bit more. So I'm going to tell you, keep going.
Well, I know that one of the things that, is not a big focus here for residents necessarily, but for businesses, one of the things that we're looking to do is work with renters there as well.
That's right, because more businesses probably rent than own.
Exactly. Well, and there's a little bit of a conundrum there for the owner of the building versus the tenant who may be paying the bills. So we're looking in 2013 and beyond to enhance the incentives there as well. So I don't want to neglect the business owners out there that may be renting something. So, again, if you're not just a resident, you're a business owner or a business you just work in a business, which most people do, you may also want to call us as well before you're making some changes in that building.
So now your office is completely insulated.
We have the luxury of being in the Superior Courthouse in Barnstable.
Somebody's got to, update that building. So
Yes.
I hope you've been influential.
Yeah.
Yes, we
I'm
have.
sure you have.
We've been making upgrades there. We recently insulated it.
Very good. I know Barry's been very active in town, and the lighting here has been upgraded, and I'm sure he could enlighten us into a lot of other things that have been improved over the years. But, so you think you've given us all you can here?
Well, I tried to condense the 400 and some odd pages into,
Thank you.
about 10 minutes. There's a lot of highlights there, and, I think the message keeps coming back to just check with us. But, the most exciting things really are some of the new technologies like LEDs, the heat pump water heaters. But some of the other things are tried and true. If you're going to get a new heating system or a new appliance, always look for that Energy Star. But you're going to have to make those decisions once you get into there. But we do want to make sure that people are being efficient so that you can keep some of that extra money in your pockets.
Now, somebody building a new house, are they eligible for all of this too?
There are incentives for new construction. The codes are getting more and more strict over the next several years. Every 3 years it's going to be upgraded. And there are incentives currently up to $8,000.
For building a new home? Wow.
For building a new home, yes.
For heating and windows and insulation?
For the full package, that's basically what it is.
That's quite an advantage.
Yes, and the advantage when you're building new is that you can make all of those changes at that time.
Yes.
While you're already building, the framing of your house. If you go that extra inch, literally, you can save quite a bit of money. And paying attention to the details when you're building a new home is very key, because if you can get things to be, tight and have the right ventilation, your home could be very efficient for the next, 50 years, depending on how you build it.
Boy, that's a great advantage.
And every savings you have are constant, and they continue. This year's savings are added to the future ones. It isn't that you have to do more each time.
Boy. Wish I knew that when I was building. But that's it. You know, back then, I'm sure you've been around that long, but I never, you know, when we started to look into building, the builder never told us.